when they're off target, they become stagnant and still like a pond, and they become festering. So we have this dampness accumulating in the body, which then, with a combination of heat, becomes damp heat, which becomes sweat, which becomes putrid, which becomes smelly, which becomes water retentive. So then they start swelling up, and they don't like humid, hot days. Melbourne gets a few humid days these days, but a more Queensland-style weather, which is really bad for water element or damp retaining people. So we work a lot on their kidney and bladder element to flush that out. They groan a lot. So in their voice, one of the telltale signs is they groan because everything's an effort and hard to do.
Yep. Yeah, wow.
Which is...
I'm thinking of a few politicians right now.
Correct. And they work off the emotion of fear too, which is a political...
Yep.
We all know our leaders around the world, and most of them would fit into this water character.
Yep.
The other thing with a water element patient is they normally have a full head of hair. Is another water element sign. Correct. Can also
remember, like Bob Hawke, he had the
absolutely,
hair.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of remind you of a and he also kind of reminded me of a rather excited cockatoo. Like this, and the crest going.
He does have that look about him, even now as a retired politician.
Yes.
But both sides of politics, if you look at the leaders, they're mostly water element, my way or the highway, and I don't do anything wrong. It's like a flood, a rush of water running down a river. It just moves and doesn't look back. The damage is done, be it good or bad. And like I said, it's the highway, their way or the highway.
Yep.
And their opinion is it. Yours isn't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, we don't. Us other element patients don't dare argue with a water element.
Yes.
Well, I do because I'm a practitioner.
Well, you can get away with that stuff.
And that I do, correct. What else do I need to know? They smell a bit like ammonia when you do the smelling of the patient. 5-element acupuncturists actually smell the patient.
Just think cats.
Just think catwag, yeah, catwag. That's basically the smell behind a water element. But they're really, like all the elements, like all of us, we're really nice people, and there is different attributes per element, and that's how 5-element practitioners treat. First, we identify the element they are. Now, this isn't their birth element.
No.
This is the
We've done some talk about that.
We have.
For example, my Chinese astrology using stem branch Chinese astrology actually comes up, the highest amount is fire and then metal, but in a constitution, I'm actually earth.
Right, and I would say you're an earth.
Because you were saying constitutionally I'm earth, which I agree with, because you've shown me a bit about the 5-element stuff, and I'm like, that fits me.
Yep.
But on a Chinese astrological level, mostly fire, then metal. So it does not always translate exactly on that level, but also if we think of the constitution, it's a very separate thing, I guess, to necessarily their actual personality.
Correct.
But it's more how their health is reacting.
And how they were brought up by their parents up to the age of 4, when the constitution's set, or their morals are set by the age of 4 anyway, and in this world, their constitution's set by the age of 4.
Yep.
So you can have 2 people born on the same day, 2 totally different elements, even though the astrology chart says they're actually the same.
Yep.
In the world of 5-element acupuncture, they're actually not. It's the way they were brought up.
Yep.
And you can spend hours going through each particular element and how the childhood splits. And you can't go from water to metal, you're one or the other.
Yep.
You can have traces of one element.
Yep.
Absolutely. But the core existence is, as we're talking about today, is the water element. And, of course, as I said, that affects the bladder and the kidney meridian, and they'll always have bladder-kidney issues.
Do they have trouble with heating and cooling, like the hot hands or the cold hands?
They do get quite hot if they're out of balance. And so this is when we talk about the retention of water. Add heat to it, we have damp heat. So they'll sweat easy, they'll sweat on cool days, and they blow up. Basically, and the humid weather is the worst thing for them. Northern Queensland weather is the worst thing for water element patients with heat retention. So, of course, we add acupuncture points. Large intestine 11 here near the elbow is what I use to regulate the body's temperature. and it's right beside large intestine 10, which
Oh,
I use as a sleep point.
Which I think I was just pressing.
You were.
Yes.
And it's actually quite sore. So just on that, when I treat an athlete with an injured elbow,
Yep.
one of the questions I ask, how's your sleep? No, I can't sleep. I touch them here. They go, oh, my God, that's sore. That's your sleep point. We clear the sleep point, so we're clearing the pain, clearing the blockage. So we reduce pain, clear the blockage, and they sleep beautifully, which allows the body to heal. The body heals itself beautifully when it's asleep. It's the best time.
Yeah.
So I'm great for nana naps, and I pulled an all day the other day.
Fantastic.
I went all day without a nana nap. I was wrapped. But anyway, so yes, so
I'm quite at this stage of my life, I'm quite the one for the nana naps every now and again.
oh look, I'm all for it.
Fantastic.
Just don't be driving.
No,
No,
probably
although-
don't nap while driving.
Yeah, no, auto cruise control doesn't mean climb in the back and have a sleep. Let the car take you.
I did test the steering on my new car to see, you know, and so I drove down the road, hands at the ready, but not actually on the steering wheel.
That's the shot.
I managed to go for about 1.5 kilometres, just
Steering with your knees,
Straight
eating
line.
your muesli. You were eating when
no,
you
I was actually just testing the alignments and everything.
beautiful.
This is
Great.
just light as a feather
And
and
slightly tap the brakes and then pull one the other way.
fantastic.
Mate.
I'm
New
in
cars.
seventh heaven.
Love 'em.
It's helping me because that helps with the whole arriving rested, which can be
Correct.
an issue.
Absolutely, for
and
busy
For
practitioners.
busy practitioners
Yes.
like us. And so when we're dealing with water element people and or they're a bit blocked, what sort of points can we press to get, I guess, the hydration going again?
Yeah, so
Besides obviously needing to drink water.
drink water's number one. Funny enough, water elements need water just like the rest of us do.
Do they need more water?
Look, I'm a 2 to 3 litre a day person, and I'll always tell every patient that walks in the door, you need to drink 3 litres, knowing they'll only drink 2.
Yes,
If I tell them to drink 2, they'll drink 1.
correct.
But then they start counting up their cups of tea, their Coke, their Milo, and I go, totally
No.
ignorance to
Yep,
that.
yep.
I need you to drink 2 to 3 litres of just pure water by itself. So points for our water element patients are, of course, the bladder meridian.
Yep.
Our spleen as well controls water. So spleen, bladder, and kidney meridians are the one we use for those. We always nourish heart, so I always add Shenman, Heart
Yep.
7, just in here is one of my favourite points. All fertility patients get that. All
Yep.
footballers get that.
Yep.
Everyone gets a heart nourishment. And it's amazing, Jacqueline, when you mention the word, by the way, today we're going to nourish, part of my principles of treatment is move pain, calm the Shen, and I'm going to nourish your heart. When you use those words, you can see them well up.
Yeah.
Because here's a practitioner who actually cares for a patient, and not only is he going to fix my elbow, he's going to nourish my heart. That sits beautifully with patients.
Also, the thing is, they might not even understand the terminology on a conscious intellectual level, but when you're saying that, it goes right through, I notice, because I can say, oh, you know, and they'll give me the date of birth and someone, I go, oh, they're a fire rooster Leo, and they go, oh, I get it now. And you're like, yeah, right. So I'll be explaining that.
Yep.
So when you're saying this stuff, is the release also them hearing that and hearing the energy, I guess, of that, and being able to go, also, yes, you care, but, he knows what he's doing, and I feel safe.
And it resonates with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It resonates not here, but here.
Yeah.
So this is, as practitioners, we treat to here. We treat from here to here, not here.
Would you say that it's the heart or the brain that holds memory more?
I'd say the heart. The brain's merely a tool for the rest of the body. The heart holds heaps, and I've seen tons of. I treated a lady the other day for a dry mouth syndrome, which was actually heart resonance flaring up, heart heat flaring up from an emotional disturbance that happened years ago. Well, during the consultation, she had an abortion years ago that her husband was unaware of, and now it's coming back to haunt her, so to speak. Unfortunately for this couple, he was unaware of what had happened years ago and totally dismissed my diagnosis and said, she's got nothing to be upset about. Okay, no worries. That's exactly what I did. I went, no worries. Where she, in the room, was crying her eyes out. On a physical level, it was a B12 deficiency. On an emotional level, it was heart heat caused by sadness due to an emotion attachment 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that she hadn't processed. So, yes, what was the question?
I think you've answered it.
Okay,
so
great.
the heart and the kidney talk too.
Oh, absolutely. There's a beautiful relationship between heart and kidney, and this is what keeps us asleep at night. When the kidney meridian kicks in, it actually reaches up and holds the heart, nourishes the heart, holds it down into the body, and keeps you asleep. Now, where there's a disturbance between kidney and heart, this waking up to go to the toilet, there's an example of a kidney-heart relationship not working. We always nourish the heart and tonify kidneys. And that's why I keep saying that when you use the term nourish the heart, now it can be a 6 foot baller who's got muscle on muscle. You use the term nourish the heart and they kind of melt.
Yep. Yeah.
They kind of melt because, hang on, here's a practitioner that he's not only caring about what's wrong with me, I'm treating the body as a whole. Had a beautiful compliment from a patient, secondhand, treated her twice. The person that referred her to me, I said, how's she going? She just said, oh, she's going amazing. She can't believe how generally well she feels.
Yes.
Came in for a back, but she feels great. She's sleeping. She's eating properly. She's using her bowels daily. She's urinating 8 to 10 times a day. She's increased her water intake, and she just feels great. But I was only treating for her back.
Yep.
So this is the difference with Chinese medicine practitioners or acupuncturists. We treat as a whole, not as a single. So we don't just come in, I'll fix that, and then ignore everything else.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, you're not sleeping properly, you've got this, heat issues, you've got water issues, and you just want me to fix this? No, sorry, we treat the whole body.
Yeah. Well, I had an appointment with the cardiologist, cardiothoracic surgeon or whatever he was, but cardio guy, specialist dude, and he says, and so we got into this debate about how my operation was going to happen, because he was telling me we're going through the right venous entry. I said, that won't happen. He goes, we let me finish. And I went, fine. I'll tell you. After you finish telling me what's going to happen, I'll tell you what's going to happen. So we can be okay with that. So right venous entry, blah, 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 and that'll be 3,500 on the table. I said, okay, so here's what's going to happen. You need to schedule me last because you're going to have to do a left venous entry. But we don't do that. That's very dangerous. We have to flip you on the table. It's very dangerous to go in through the left-hand side of the like this. But let me finish. I said, and when you get in through the heart, there's a little valve there, right? Little opening, and you're going to go in through the left and you come right around here, right there. I said, right there, okay? And you'll have it. I said, and you'll never have to see me again, I promise.
Didn't like that?
And he goes, well, do you want to take a bet on that? I said, sure. How much do you want to put up?
Yep.
He says, $100. I said, all right, shaking your hand. You know what I should have done? I should have made him write that down and sign it.
Yes.
So anyway, exactly as I said, he tried 12 times on this side. 12 times. Oh, I felt it when I woke up. I'm like, I feel like my leg's been amputated, Yeah. And he walks in and he goes, well, I think we've applied the curative effect and we'll not need to see you again. I said, I told you that. I said, no, you had to go through the left and it took 5.5 hours, like I said it would. And I said, the only thing you did wrong was not put me last.
Yep.
Because you've delayed other patients because of that.
Right, okay, hence the love it.
Like you've inconvenienced the other patients, not me.
He wouldn't have liked that at all.
No, $100. I said, look, if you look on the chart, it shows where you put the X where I said it would be.
Yep.
And you owe me $100.
Yep.
No, he walked out. Walked out the door. Very unhappy.
But
there was a lot of water, heart, fire, water stuff going on at the time.
Correct.
And the thing that really got me and why I'm bringing this up is they never actually said, how's your iron, Jacqueline?
Oh, okay.
How's your magnesium? Because, you kind of need those for your heart to be steady. And surprise, I later found out that, in fact, it was really low, which, of course, you guys would be going, hang on, let's talk about not just the heart, but also let's talk about the chi. Hang on, you're looking a bit flat, Jacqueline. Do you think you might want to get your iron checked?
Yep. And that's why I insist on blood tests too, because not only do we treat what I see, I treat what we don't see. And to get that done, we need blood tests done. And, of course, our parameters are much smaller than Western medicine. So even though the Western medicine doctor will say you're fine, I say to the patient, no, I need to see him. And straight away with another patient, I picked up iron deficiency, B12 deficiency. And funny enough, this patient actually came from a naturopath clinic as a receptionist, and they all said it was fine. I go, no way, is this fine?
No.
And, of course, symptoms of tiredness, fatigue, inability to sleep, red tip on the tongue, foggy memory, correct, heavy limbs in the morning, all that kind of spleen, chi deficiency symptoms. But anyway.
And you've even seen, you've seen the test results I have, and the doctor said, you're fine, you just need a tablet from the supermarket. And the next week I was in hospital with an iron transfusion. From a specialist.
Correct. It annoys me the way they move, and every year they move their parameters too to make their job a lot easier. I just find that disgusting.
Yes.
So as I said, I just tell patients, bring them in, let us read.
I always recommend getting a printout of your results.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Take them to someone you trust.
Yep.
Now we've actually got a caller on the line, being very patient with us. We've got Teresa in Nashville, Tennessee. Are you there, Teresa? We can't hear her.
Can't hear her. Okay.
That's all right.
Anyway, she'll come back.
She'll come back at some point. But yeah, so when we're kind of dealing with water element people, what sort of things can they also, besides what we've talked about, do, I guess, more emotionally? Because we're talking about the physical, but how do they deal with emotionally?
The best thing for water patients to do is actually, or water element patients to be, is actually be near the water.
Yep.
And like be at one with the water, like the rhythmic wave or the stillness of a pond, whatever suits them. So the goers, the politicians, this is the earth is flat, right? The earth is flat, right?
Ah, yeah,
right?
Of course.
So they're the ones that'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah.
And be by the beach and there's always movement. Where those that are not pushy, a bit more subdued and there's a bit of grief involved, they'll feel comfortable near the stillness of a pond.
Yes.
And that's okay too, because the pond is not actually still.
No.
There's more life in there, or just as much life is there as is a wave. So they need to find what suits them the best. And I talk about that with the patient as well. You can pick that up quite quickly. Like diagnosis happens within the first 60 seconds of you seeing a patient.
Yep.
Now, my RMIT colleagues and my university lecturers will tell me off and go, no, it takes 30 minutes. Well, some of us can actually do it quite quickly. But anyway.
When you're working with intuition, I guess. Now, we've got Teresa back again. You there, Teresa?
Hello.
Hello, Teresa. Welcome to the show. It's lovely to hear from you. Is there a question you had for Dr. Anthony there as well? And I'll also do a reading.
Ma'am? Hello?
Yep. So was there a question you wanted to ask?
The sound going in and out. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, absolutely. Feel free to go for it.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering about, do you see a job coming for me?
It feels like there's been a lot of up and down there with you, and I feel as if I would say my short answer is yes, there is a job coming for you. I feel like there's change, challenge and opportunity, and I also feel like we're dealing with letting go of a few things at the moment as well on more the emotional level. But it feels to me like there is another role coming for you soon. It can be difficult to hold the positive on that, but it's really important to do that at the moment. Dr. Anthony, what were you also getting there?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, but I feel there's sadness and pain.
Yep.
Sorry to go down that road, but that's what I'm picking up from you, young Teresa. I don't know if that sits right, but I just feel a lot of sadness there.
Yep. Does that make sense for you, Teresa?
Yes. Well, I'm been a little sad because I'm used to working and I'm not working now.
Exactly.
Help up over.
Dr. Anthony's very right there. It's really important not to be giving yourself a hard time. You do have a lot of perfectionism sort of stuff with you. Like you really like to give your all to things, and we're talking before about the go of water, and we're sort of hearing a bit of that energy there in a way. Yeah. And your the grief around not feeling that you're able to sort of get moving at the moment. What sort of point on the body would Teresa find useful that maybe she can see, like if we can press that while we're here, and she can see them on podcast later?
Sure. Shenman or heart 7 near the wrist. It's a heart nurturing point. Again, we're back to nurturing the heart. And a kidney point, kidney 3, down near the ankle. I can't lift my leg up that high. There's one down near the ankle. More is a ground. I feel she needs to be more grounded.
Definitely.
Yeah. I feel she's a nurse, by the way.
Yep.
She's got great sympathy and great understanding for people around her and her friends, and she enjoys summer.
Definitely enjoys summer. That feels like that. Yeah. Does that make sense to you, Teresa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can we ask what your profession normally is?
I was in childcare, but I do not want to do childcare no more. I'm done with that.
Had enough of childcare.
Yes, understandable. I would also feel that other qualifications are going to be something that you're going to do over the next 2 years, and it's going to be really terrific in where that will take you. But yeah, at the moment you can feel really kind of a bit stuck with where you are. But you will get going again. Dr. Anthony was picking up that nursing quality in you.
Yeah.
And so, there's definitely that nurturing, statement in that. Very much a carer, but at the moment needing to care for yourself. So please stop being hard on yourself. Take this one step at a time. There is another role in the short distance future coming up for you. But to me, that's like a stepping stone role. It's going to be what pays the bills while you're working towards what you'd really like to do later. So it's going to be important to keep the positives on this at the moment, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Everybody keeps telling me that. That's a little hard, though.
Very, very much so. It is difficult at the moment, and certainly we really feel for you. Now, Dr. Anthony was just picking up on you being arty and crafty, or needing, I would translate that, or needing to be so. Have you been doing any arts and crafts and things like that, or been thinking of doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so really...
I was looking at a job about crafting.
Art therapist. Would art therapist be something you would think of doing? Because that would probably be really good for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So have a think about it. But certainly getting into your creative side at the moment will help kickstart your energy, and it'll give you some ideas that might come left of field of how to kind of create some relief for yourself in a situation at the moment. But please stop hammering yourself. That's our message.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful soul, and we're going to be sending you a lot of healing after the show. You can connect to us as well if you want, Teresa, after the show. Just go on to soulstar.media, and that's where you can find us, but also on the Facebook page. Now, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, I feel working with kids with autism is down Teresa's road.
Absolutely, that's another area, because it's kind of that nursing quality once again. It's a caring and nurturing, nursing, training, teaching people.
Working with kids. Yeah, she's a caring soul, so she's on their level. Yeah. I can just see you doing lots of work with children again. Teresa, probably not what you wanted to hear, but...
Yeah, but I think you'll be able to do it in a way that's not irritating to you.
Yeah. More fun.
Right. So have a look at the skills and qualifications you want to go into, because I don't feel there's much of that training to have to do to get a start in where your next part of this goes. But there is further quite big training you're going to take on later on that's going to take you a lot further. So, give it a real red-hot go. We're sending you all of our love, and we hope that helps you today, Teresa.
It did. Thank y'all.
Oh, thank you, darling. What a beautiful soul.
Lovely person, yeah.
Absolutely wonderful energy, and really kind of feeling stuff at the moment, Yeah. And it really goes to that water we were talking about as well, and that real sort of up and down. And there's this rushing in part of her energy, but an absolute stopping in the other.
Correct. That could be the earth coming out, the grounding, stopping and going forward. But she wants to be there. Yeah. I feel she's like a very homebody too, motherly, nurturing, caring. I must have thought.
Because you're stopping the energy. He's just having a glass of water, which is what we've been starting the show with. So, yes, and we do apologise to people who wanted to get through today, but we can only get through so many callers in a show. But it's been wonderful connecting with you, Teresa, and everyone listening. You can also connect to us through Soulstar Radio. If you Google Soulstar Radio, you'll find the website. You can also find Dr. Anthony on there. There's a link to him and his website, and he does treat people who come and travel to him from all around Australia, and at times people come from overseas.
They do.
So, don't be afraid to reach out if you're wanting to ask a question.
Absolutely.
If you want to connect with us, if you want Dr. Anthony to cover a particular topic next time he's on, coming from a Chinese medicine level. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for being here again, Dr. Anthony.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on. Look forward to the next time.
We'll be back same time next week, same channel. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Ron, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now A1R on the air. Psychic Talk Radio on Moonstruck TV. Enlightening television.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio, here with Amanda Hall, Psychic. here all the way from the Gold Coast. We're in week 2 of the Commonwealth Games here, so it's been a really party atmosphere here for the last week or so. And it's very difficult not to get caught up in the hype and the bubble and the froth and the fun of the games. And I'm probably like just about everybody else in the Commonwealth. I've been glued to the television watching my favourite sports. Mine's actually the swimming. So it's been sort of late nights and sort of trying to avoid working of a morning so that you can watch the heats in the pool. So they've just finished their swims last night, so now I can sort of get back to reality while the games wrap up over the weekend. So for those of you that are not into the swimming or the Commonwealth Games, I hope you've had an absolutely awesome week. It's been a really interesting weekend this last week as we're in the Aries time of the year, and things always sort of fire up and people get a little bit toey, and people also find that they're really reevaluating what's important to them. It's like a second bite at the cherry for our New Year's resolutions. We'll have another look at them, we'll air them a bit more and see what we can take out of them, what we're going to cross off the list and what we might want to add to it. So this brings me to the card of the week this week from the Simply Tarot card of the week, which is the 8 of Cups. Now, the 8 of Cups has a few different meanings, but the first one can be money problems. Now, money problems doesn't always mean a lack of money. It can be the juggling of money or chasing money. If people owe you money and you're self-employed, sometimes that can be a tricky situation, how to have that conversation with people about the fact that they owe you money. The secondary meaning of this card is turning your back and walking away, knowing nothing more can be done. Now, this can apply to many areas of our lives. Many of us have situations where we need to wash our hands of the situation, draw a line under it, say, that's it. I've put in as much energy and effort as I'm going to. The only solution now is turn your back, walk away, no more confrontation, no more disagreements, no more talking, thinking about it, whatever. It's done. It's completed. So it's almost like a card of finish, which is a good card to have at the moment as we're heading into the new moon in Aries. Now, I'm going to hear you say, gee, haven't we just finished getting over the blue full moon in Libra? That only seemed like yesterday. Well, I know it only felt like yesterday. But we do have the new moon in Aries coming up before the next show next week. So that's why I thought I'd focus on it now so we can all get ready for bringing in the energy of the new moon. Now, the new moon in Aries is literally like the beginning of the year. It's literally like January 1, where we all start to set our intentions, our goals, our hopes, our wishes, our aspirations for the new year. Well, this is the astrological new year. It is the first new moon in the year. So new moons always denote the fact that the things that we're looking to attract in our life, the things that are brand new, the things that we have been working towards that are now ready to take shape, are now ready to bear fruit, or we're now ready to take that next step and make it a reality. So when we have the new moon in a sign, and it's always in one of the 12 zodiac signs, it means it takes on the energy of that sign. Now this week, because it's in Aries, it's about me first, it's about enthusiasm, it's about fire, it's about passion, it's about getting up off the couch, really taking those first steps to the things that you want to bring about into your life. It's also about self-motivation, but it can also be about motivating other people. So it's really important that we look to the future when we try and motivate other people and sort of say, why am I the one that's in the driver's seat here, that I'm the one that's motivating other people? Well, sometimes that's our role that we have to play. So without further ado, I will introduce the candles. So we do have the new moon candle. So the new moon is a candle that has been designed specifically in its colour and its fragrance and its intent that's been placed into the candle in its making. They are all hand poured, they are lead-free wicks, and they are made with the best eco soy that is available at the planet at the time of the production of the candles. Now, this is specifically for the new moon. It's one of my favourites, actually, because I like to think of new opportunities, of something fresh, something new being brought into our lives. And because we're in the fire sign energy, we're also in the fire sign candle. So this candle is applicable for Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, so it covers the 3 fire signs. I didn't purposely design 12 different zodiac candles. I divided them into groups of 3 and 4 different choices so that you had a candle that was a little bit more versatile. This one's also one of my favourites, probably because I'm a Sagittarian and I burn this one quite regularly. So how would we work with the candles? Well, with a new moon, we'd sit down and we'd write a little list. 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you want to start to try and bring into your life. I always suggest a couple of things that we can achieve fairly quickly and then maybe some longer range plans. write 2 identical lists, read them out aloud, put them underneath the candle, always put the candle on another coaster or a plate or something between you and the surface it's burning on, because the glass container itself gets hot. The soy mixture doesn't get hot, but the glass container gets hot, and we don't want to scorch the table. So then you light your candles for anything from about 15 minutes to 2 hours per day. So if the new moon is at when its highest energy is Monday the 16th, wherever you are in this planet of ours. So I would start burning my candle from about the 14th, bearing in mind the new moon is the 16th, so we burn it for 3 days then, takes us to the 17th. You can safely burn it from the 14th to about the 19th. But bearing in mind the strongest energy is 16, 17, 18, and you would light both candles, reading your information out to the universe. Never leave a candle unattended, never under a curtain, under an air conditioner, a fan, and always away from children. So that's covered that. So we're going to be moving the show quite fast today, because we need to make sure that we squeeze in our 2 readings. Last week, I do apologise, we only had time for 1. This week we'll definitely get 2 in. So we're going to be now looking at our first part of our 4-part series in astrology, where we're going to be talking about the houses. Now, I hear you say, why would we be talking about houses? I've got a place I live. We're not talking about the place that you reside in. We're talking about what makes up an astrological wheel. So when we look at a circle being a circumference of 360 degrees, we look at houses being on a flat wheel, which means where we're not using a time of birth, where we would divide those planets into 12 equal parts of 30 degrees. So each one of those houses is like cutting a piece of pie, where if we cut a pie into 12 equal pieces, we'd be saying piece number 1, piece number 2, and piece number 3. Well, in astrology, we call it house number 1, house number 2, and house number 3. Now, how does this affect us? House number 1. House number 1 has got a very airy sort of feel. It's about me first. It's how I package and present myself to the outside world. And some people relate to this, or people that have a little bit more knowledge in astrology know that house number 1 relates to the ascendant or the rising sign, which, if we have a time of birth, tells us where the sun was at the most eastern point in your chart, where the first house was. It doesn't necessarily put your sun or your sun sign in the first house, but it's the most eastern point of your chart when you were born. So if you have first house energy, everybody has a first house. Everybody has a rising or an ascendant sign if you know your time of birth. So your first house is about how we package and present ourselves to the world. And this is a house of very I. It's about what me, myself, and I wants to do, how I want to approach my personal life, how I want to approach the world, how I want the world to see me as an individual. House number 2 is again on the I focus. It's my money, it's my possessions, it's the things that are important to me. It's my morals, it's my value system, it's how I handle my personal finances, it's what I stand for, it's what I believe in, it's how I want the world to view me and judge me, and what is important to me, and the things that I might get on my soapbox about, the things that I might turn around and say, hey, I don't like this, or have you looked at this cause, or have you thought about this? This is my personal stuff. The third house is how I handle my local environment. Again, the things that are important to me, the things that might be going on in my local environment, the things that I like to communicate about, the things that I like to get involved in, the things that I might have literally zero interest in, and I will avoid them like the plague. So the first 6 houses in astrology are the I houses. So it's all about me, myself, and I, and how I approach things. So next week we'll be working with houses 4, 5, and 6. So we'll be tuning into that next week. So as we have our little quick trip around the universe, and I know for most of you that sort of message me regularly saying that you really find this part of the show quite interesting, because it helps you understand why maybe you've been a little bit titchy this week, or you've been a bit cranky with everyone. We still are under the influence of Mercury retrograde. We've spoken about this many times on the show. Mercury retrograde is the planet of communication, still doing his dance backwards. He's actually in Aries. So he's sort of making things a little bit tricky there for people to sort of understand what's going on and, you know, how to handle things. So he's asking you to still sort of be very, very careful about how you communicate in this next week. Make sure that people have their listening ears on. Make sure that your directions or your instructions or the message that you're trying to share is very clear. We will feel the effects of Mercury starting to go direct from the 15th, but bearing in mind that takes 2 or 3 days before it really ramps up and we really feel the definite change of, oh, yes, I can exhale, and people are now starting to listen. And we have less problems with technology and missed telephone calls and miscommunication. So hallelujah, bring it on. But we need to focus this week on the new moon conjunct or holding hands, the sun, and Uranus in energy. Now, I hear you say, what on earth does that mean in terms that I can understand? Well, we've already talked about the new moon. When we talk about a conjunction, we talk about planets literally sitting next to each other or sitting next door to each other, or holding hands is the way I like to describe it. So we've got the new moon coming up to hold hands with the sun. Then the sun is actually holding hands with the planet Uranus. Now, what this means is we can have some really tremendous breakthroughs with the new moon energy, because we've already established they're all sitting in Aries, so it's all about me, 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 and have I told you about me, and motivating ourselves and others around us to get up and make things happen. With the planet Uranus here, he's going to create the openings or the opportunities, like the bolt of lightning, something that comes out of nowhere. It can be the light bulb moment. It can be being in the right place at the right time to meet that somebody that's going to change the course and direction of your life. But bearing in mind, we need to make sure that our drive and our ego is in check, that everything is coming from a pure place of light and positivity, not from a negative, needy, greedy sort of place, because it won't work. If we're coming from those negative, greedy sort of places, we negate the opportunities that can come towards us with the purity of light of the sun and also the beautiful, motivating new moon. So we've got the beautiful brand new moon illuminating beautiful positive energy on us, holding hands with the sun, radiating its beautiful rays from the sun, and all the, the golden energy and the protection and the beautiful new opportunities of the new day adorning. And then we've got Uranus coming in, like that strike of lightning saying, well, okay, you've been so good, here's the opportunities that you deserve. Now, how are you going to work with these? If you choose to work with the negative side of your energy, or you don't know how to get out of negativity and that's just what makes you happy, well, then bear in mind then things may not be so easy for you this week, because Uranus will show you the darker side of himself and say, okay, you like negativity? Here, have another dose. Have a bit more. You've done nothing but send out negative, nasty comments and tried to pull people down and be greedy and pinch people's money. Well, I'll show you what it feels like. So always be aware there's a positive and a negative to everything that we work with in astrology. Nothing is ever always all positive or always all negative. There's always balance, the yin and the yang. And I believe if we try to be the very, very, very best person that we can be every day, then the rest of it follows suit, because, light attracts light. If we're nice and kind and positive and try and do one little tiny positive, unselfish thing every day, then we're sending out a very positive message and vibration to the universe at what we would like in return. So I always believe what you send out is what you get back. So we're going to go to our first caller, which is Jackie in Clear Lake Oaks in California. Are you there, Jackie?
Hi.
Hi, how can I help you tonight, Jackie?
My daughter hasn't been talking to me, and I'm just wondering if I should bug her or not to talk to me or not.
Okay, Jackie, look, I'm really sorry that the communication's broken down between you and your daughter. Is this a recent thing, or is this a longer-term ongoing problem?
Recent, but it's been coming on for a while.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I felt that it wasn't just sort of one day you had a few words and then all of a sudden you're not speaking. I felt this had probably been building up. I'd go so far back as to say 3 years. It's been a slow, gradual decline, some really nice patches in between, but then some patches there where things were getting a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Look, I certainly wouldn't be reaching out to her till after Mercury goes direct again, so I'd be certainly safely leaving it until at least the 18th of this month. I'm not saying don't give her positive energy. Think about her in a positive way. all those sort of things, but I wouldn't reach out before then because she's just as likely to not listen to you, to still be sort of in that aggressive shutting her ears off, I'm not listening mode. So we want to give this the very best chance of being able to sort of reconnect and establish another relationship with your daughter. Your daughter's very stubborn.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she doesn't get some of that stubbornness from you and some of it from Dad, and probably an awful lot she owns herself. But what you've got to understand is she believes she's done no wrong. Now, I don't agree with that, but this is the energy she's sharing with me, that she hasn't done anything wrong and it's all your fault and you're too critical and you're too judgmental and you never let her explain anything and you never let her be her own person. So this is the reasons why she's decided not to talk to you, because she believes that way she's taking her own power back. Well, yes, she is taking her own power back in some sort of fashion, but at the same time, she's also showing me how childish she is in the way that she's behaving. It's everybody's choice and everybody's right to draw a line under a relationship and say, I'm done. That's not what I'm questioning. What I'm questioning is the way she came to that conclusion or came to that decision. She's done that in a very childish, emotionally immature way. Instead of saying, look, Mum and I have had an argument. I don't agree with Mum's standpoint on this, but hang on a minute. Mum's a grown up, so am I. Now let's try and find a way of finding some middle ground where we can agree to disagree even and still have a relationship. Now, what she's done is she's just shut the door and said, you don't exist anymore. Well, that's not exactly the way to handle something like this. I do feel it's still going to take a little bit of time, Jackie. I wish I could say we could wave a magic wand and everything would be right. They're showing me August, and I think it's going to take till August till we really get this back to a point where you're not sort of apprehensive about picking up a phone or sending a text message or inviting her over for a meal. You know, you're not walking around on eggshells. So I know that's still 4 months away, but I do feel that there will be some little bits of connection in between them. I do feel after August it's like we break down these barriers of what caused this to begin with, and I feel then you're both approaching it from a different set of eyes. It's almost like she's matured, and what you've done is looked at things and said, look, okay, I'll dismiss most of that because I'm the adult here. I can override that and sort of let's just get a connection happening again. You are my daughter and I love you.
Yeah.
So you're sort of taking the higher road in that way. And I'm not saying that all parents should do that, but I'm saying in this instance, if you want to re-establish a connection with your daughter, maybe this is what we've got to do. And then when you've got it on a really good footing, if the time arises and you feel the need to, then you can bring it up again and say, hey, darling, you know, I wasn't really impressed about this or that or the other. I appreciate, you know, you're a grown-up and you've got your right to your own opinions, but, gee, you hurt me. You know what I mean? But don't sort of go down those paths in the early stages, because if you do, she'll just get her back up and it's sort of like more confirmation to her she was right, even though she's wrong. So, you know, as I said, she's very stubborn. She's very opinionated. That's a good thing, though, because it means she's not going to let other people walk all over the top of her. And that's what you've got to remember. She's shown you how tough she can be. And that's a good thing. But I do know that you will re-establish your connection with your daughter. It will take time. But when we re-establish it this time, it's going to be more as equals. And I feel that's the important thing that needs to be established here, Jackie, that you will be equals. And she will respect you. It's interesting because I can hear her saying in the next couple of years, wow, Mum's grown up a lot. And it's not that Mum's grown up. It's your daughter's got a different attitude to how she approaches grown-ups. You know, she's the one that's matured and settled down a lot more. Is there a dark-headed young man in her life?
There's her husband, but he's bald. I don't know what color hair he has.
Okay. I think he's part of the problem. I'll put it that way.
Okay. I kind of figured that.
Yeah, I thought you might have. And it's just sort of like, look, I don't want to place all the blame at his feet either, but I just sort of feel that he's egged her on a little bit, you know, encouraged her to sort of take this stand. But, you know, look, I think in time it'll all blow over and everything will be a lot better. And his opinion won't be as influential, I'll put it that way. I'm not saying no divorce or anything like that, but your daughter will be able to make her own mind up. Anyway, Jackie, I hope that's been of help for you tonight, and good luck with your relationship with your daughter. We're moving on now to Catherine in Mount Pleasant in South Carolina. Are you there, Catherine?
Yes, I'm here.
How can I help you tonight, please, Catherine?
I was wanting to just see if you have any insight on my future or from any connections with family members that might have passed away.
Okay. Catherine, I don't, in the short time we have on the show, it's really hard for me to sort of just say I'm just going to tune into the other side. If someone wants to come through from the other side with a message, they will, and they'll interrupt the reading I'm about to give you, and I'll deliver it to the best of my ability of what they're sharing with me. At the moment, what I am being shown is that there's a number of endings, changes and transformations that have been taking place in your life. And I'm going to say literally over the last 18 months, and it's sort of, there's been growth spurts and then there's been periods of absolute dead stillness where nothing's happened, and then we sort of get a bit of a spurt on again and another change, and that's about to level itself out now. So I feel now we're starting to move forward with some of the hard work that you've done. We're starting to see the fruits of your labours for that. So is there another job on the front coming up in the next couple of months? Is that something that you're looking to do, is to change jobs?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Yeah, because I can see a new job coming up. They're showing me probably around late May, early June. I sort of feel it's slightly different to what you've been doing before, but it seems to be more, they're saying to me that it better suits you. So is that going back to something that you walked away from? Or is it, resurrecting some old skills from the past that you haven't used for a while and now's the time? But I just sort of feel the next job really fits you like a glove. You feel very comfortable with it and you feel very happy with it. Did you or have you decided to change residence?
To change what?
Residence, where you're living.
Yeah, actually, we were just talking about that today.
Okay, so in these discussions about moving, was there talked about an old little cottage style house?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, good. Because somebody from the other side was showing me what I would relate to as being an older style cottage with a little picket fence at the front, or a little fence at the front, and it seemed to be sort of, I was going to say tired. It looked like it needed some loving. So I don't know whether that's the next place you're going to buy, or whether it's something you have talked about you'd like to buy or like to live in, but that was what I was being shown. I'm taking that this message is coming definitely from a female from the other side, so I'm not sure whether it's your grandmother or your great-grandmother.
Okay. Yeah, both are passed. So.
Both passed, yeah. I just sort of felt it was a grandmother's energy, and I wasn't sure whether it was one or two of them, or whether it was, two grandmothers that had passed, like on mum and dad's side, or whether it was, two on mum's side, mum's, your grandmother and mum's mother sort of thing. But there was sort of two female energies, and they were showing me this house connection. Is there 3 children?
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
Yeah, because they were just showing me 3 children too. They weren't showing me anything else, just said to me there's 3 children. So I feel that there's quite a few changes to come up for the family as such this year, but you with new work, the new home to be going into. If you do buy a house like that, a cottage like that, I know it's going to be a very happy home. It's going to be somewhere that is going to stay a long time. Like, it's a long-term project. It's not a short-term, we'll only buy it for a couple of years. This is somewhere where we're going to put roots down and raise a family, and probably add on to the house too. I think it's probably a little bit too small for the growing family, but initially I think it's great, and I feel very comfortable there. Your husband also, I felt in the last 12 months, had been struggling with his health a little bit. Has he been sort of extra tired in this last 12 months, has he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't think he's sick as in like there's a condition that the doctor needs to fix. I just feel that he's been tired. He's been, I think a little bit frustrated more than anything, that he sort of felt that, you were so stuck in life that, we should have been able to move forward more. His energy will start to return, and I feel that he'll start to have more of a smile on his face as the two of you sort of feel that you've got out of this rut, and, you're able to sort of start to see things starting to unfold and to be able to make plans for the future. So with this house decision, is it a decision to buy a place?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I keep seeing deeds around this house with the cottage-style house. I could see it as being something we're going to be incredibly proud of. I hope your husband's handy with a paintbrush, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Good, because I can see a lot of painting going on, and the house to me is structurally sound. It just needs to be loved. You know what I mean? It needs a coat of paint. It needs a good clean. It needs people. It needs children. It needs love. Right. It needs energy. And it's just going to be such a lucky, happy house for you. And, you know, everybody seems to sort of really thrive there. So that's really good. But I think as far as finances and things like that, yes, things are improving, but you need to just keep, you know, putting one foot in front of the other and have a talk to your grandmothers before you go to sleep. Tell them what you need to know. Ask them to give you the answer in the morning when you wake up. They're there to help, sweetie. They're not not decorations up there. They're there to work. They're there to help you and guide you, and they're very proud of what you've been doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So is there a male up there as well? Someone like a dad's age or an uncle's age?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. They were just showing me would be about a parent's age, and it was a male, and he didn't say anything. He was just there. So I can't tell you any more than that about him. That was all I was given, Catherine. But it may be one of the grandmother's sons. So, you know, they'll show that to me as like your dad's age. If it was, say, your great-grandmother's son and he's already passed, but, you know, he might have been 70 when he passed, sort of thing. They'll show it to me in that way. Anyway, Catherine, lovely to speak with you. We've come to the end of the show. So on next week's show, we'll have our Simply Tarot card of the week, our soy candle of the week. We'll also be looking at our second part series in the houses, parts 4, 5 and 6. We'll have our little glimpse around the universe. And for those of you that are here on the Gold Coast with me, enjoy the party for the rest of the atmosphere as the games wind up over the weekend. For everybody else around the globe of ours, have an absolutely awesome week. And don't forget to put a smile on your face and open a car door or a door for somebody special. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy you're here watching and listening. My purpose, my passion is to help you create that inspired life. And I do that as a medium, connecting in with our loved ones on the other side, as well as being a life coach. And as a life coach, I help people take action towards creating a better life, take action steps, figure out where they want to go and how they're going to get there. It's an awesome thing. I love my job. It's the best job you could possibly have, let me tell you. Today, what we are going to talk about is what's stopping you. I was talking to a client the other day, and she was telling me how much she hates her job and that her family wants her to start her own business. And she said, well, yes, I've thought about that. And she was telling me about it. She said, I've thought about starting my own business, but I don't really have the resources. I really don't have the money to do that. I can't really do that. No. And then I have a friend who was telling me she wanted to buy a house. And she says to me, I really want to buy a house, but I don't think it's going to work out because I can't find the right house. I can't find one in a good location. If I find one I like, it's too expensive. I don't really want to fill out the paperwork and do the loan. What is it that stops us from moving forward on things we want, from taking action on those things we say we want? We truly believe we want something. We say we do. And we'll say things like, I would really like this, blah, 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 but, or I want to do this, but, and then we do nothing. Everything that follows a but, when we say but, and people will go, yeah, but, or I want this, but, everything that follows a but is fear masquerading as an excuse, which stops us from taking action. Okay, let me say that again. Everything that follows a but is fear masquerading as an excuse, which stops us from taking action. Think about that. We might not want to take a risk, like my client who is resistant to starting a new business. She has an underlying fear of not taking the risk, and so it shows up as a financial problem, an excuse for her. We might be uncertain about buying a house, like my friend, because we're not really sure if we can swing owning our own house. We may not be able to do it financially, or we're not sure about the other aspects that are involved in owning a house. We could be in a relationship that we know we need to be ending, and we say, I really need to break up with him or her, whoever, but, and when we say that, it's frequently followed by some excuse, but sometimes that excuse is a fear-based thing, that we're afraid of what's going to happen if we do break up with them. How are we going to handle that? We don't want to handle the emotions of things. We don't want to handle the changes. We don't want to be alone. There are so many fears we can have. On the other side of it, say we're looking for a partner. We really want to have somebody. We say, I've been looking and I can't find anything. I can't get what I want. But he's not out there. They're just not out there. I've only met losers. I've only, all the good ones are taken. So we have all these excuses, but it's not going to work anyway. But signals that we are letting our negative inner voice hold us back. The words that voice uses, that negative voice in our head, that traps us in our minds. It traps us in fears and beliefs of things we think are true, but they might not be. If you really do want something and you're not getting it, you might want to check in to see what kind of excuses you're using. I know sometimes people think excuses, are true. And there's probably somebody out there right now listening or watching who's saying, what, but, yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but those things really are holding me back. These things that are happening in my life, you don't understand. These things are happening in my life, and I can't move forward. I have no control over it. And then they don't believe what I'm saying. So they're already making excuses about this. Don't make excuses. My daughter does this great thing when I say something or somebody else says something, and it may not be true. She goes, is it really? And I just love how she says it. She goes, is it really? So are these excuses, are they true? Are they really holding you back? Or are you using them as an excuse to not move forward because of some kind of fear? You may not even know you're doing it. You may not even know you have the fear. If you can look, though, honestly at yourself and figure out what's going on. Really be open with yourself and not judgmental. Just look at it and go, is there a fear underneath this? I can guarantee there probably is, having gone through this processes myself for very many things in my life. But you might find out you have this underlying fear. And it's all good. Everybody has underlying fears we may or may not be aware of. The difference is whether you can take that fear and still move forward anyway. Can you look at the fear and still take action. Years ago, I was thinking about testing to become a registered medium at Lilydale Assembly. Lilydale, if you don't know, is the largest spiritualist community in the world, and they have lots of mediums there who are what we call registered mediums. They've gone through the testing process. This process is a very long process. It is months process, just months. And it involves many demonstrations of mediumship in all sorts of settings. You do private readings, you do settings in front of a big group and small groups, all sorts of things. The thought of doing the testing was scary because most of us do get scared when we get tested or evaluated. And the thought of having people really look at what I was doing and judging me, because that's what we do when we get tested, isn't it? We are being judged. That was really scary. Like most people, I do not like being judged. My excuses went along the lines of, I think maybe I'll do it next year. I think I'd rather test next year. I'd like to test, but I'm not really ready. I'm not good enough. I think I'll just wait, put it off and it'll just go away somehow. Then I moved into, besides those, I went into the self-critical voice that said, I'd like to test, but I don't know enough, but I'm not good enough, but I don't think I would pass. No, I don't think I would. So between those two things, the procrastination and the self-critical voice, those two things are all signs of fear. Their fear just coming out in the form of excuses that I'm not ready, I'm not quite ready to get into that. My friend looked at me and he said to me, so if you tested and failed, what would you do? And I said, well, I would test again when I'm more ready, right? And he said, well, then you have nothing to lose. Try now. If you test and you fail, so what? You're going to try again anyway. What difference does it make? And what if you pass? And I thought, well, okay. And I was a little bit scared, because who wants to look incompetent, right? No one wants to look incompetent. But I really wanted to be of service as a medium. And that's what the good mediums are. They're of service to other people. We want to help people. And I've done this my whole life, helping people. So it's just another aspect of me to do that. What ended up happening is it became more important to work with my fear, to go with my fear, to become a medium to test than it was to give up to the fear. I had to get past the nerves and the fear. So I ended up making the application and going through the process, which was very, very stressful. And there were many more moments of fear, outright fear. There were moments of questioning myself, doubting I had the abilities, telling myself I was crazy, all of that. But I kept going. And even with the fear, I kept going so that I wasn't going to let the fear stop me. You notice I didn't say the fear disappeared. It didn't disappear. We still have it, but we can handle it. But what I ended up noticing in the end of this testing process, before I knew the results, was that I had learned a lot about myself. I had kept going. I didn't let that voice stop me. I had to trust myself. I had to trust Spirit, that Spirit was going to come through, and that I was going to just do the best I could. That's all I could do, was the best I could do. And I learned, which is very important, that even in my fear, I could still take action. I could still do it by taking those small steps and just showing up every day, doing what I could to the best of my ability. I was actually controlling my life rather than surrendering to the fear and giving up. And in the end result, I did pass, which was awesome. And I was so grateful because I really didn't want to do that again. But the process really taught me a lot about myself. If you're struggling to achieve a goal, a dream, take a good, honest look at yourself and see what's stopping you. What are your excuses? Listen to what you say. What is it you want to do? Name it. Go, I want to do this. And then you'll follow up with but, and you'll follow up with the excuses. List whatever comes up. I want to buy a house, but I can't do this. I want to break up with my boyfriend, but I want to get a new boyfriend, but I want a job, but you'll find all these things that just show up. That gives you your answers. If you're willing to look honestly and openly at yourself. If you're right now going, oh, no, she's totally wrong. Well, you're not ready yet to look honestly and openly at yourself. Yes, we do have things that get in our way and stop us from moving forward. But those aren't the self-sabotaging things that we tend to attract to ourselves at times. If you want to, notice the fear. See what the fear is. Take the action and go with it. Okay, if you don't think you have enough money, then figure out what you need to do to get enough money so that you can move forward. If you can't find a partner, maybe you have an underlying fear, even though you're using those excuses. Maybe you have an underlying fear that you're just not good enough. That underlies many of us, that you're just not good enough. Well, figure out where you are good enough and notice that you are good enough. Maybe the right one just hasn't come yet. So what you want to do is use those excuses to name your fear. Once you name the fear, it won't take a hold on you anymore. You can overcome it and still move through it. Okay, you're not going to necessarily get rid of it, but you're going to be able to work with it. That is my coaching tip of the day. It was a little bit of a long one, but it's an important one, I think. And you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Colleen van der Zijden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And make sure you keep looking for the medium part. Okay, I'm going to actually move my personal page to a little bit harder to find. So that was fun, wasn't it? I think so. So now we're going to move on to our first caller, who is Sean from Kentucky. Sean, how are you?
I'm getting settled in. I just moved from Alabama 3 weeks ago. I transferred my job, and I'm hopefully going to fix my relationship that I've had with a long-term friend. I'm hoping that he'll finally commit, because we're both from the same hometown. Now we both are here in Kentucky, and I just don't know what's going on with him. I'm really hoping that maybe he'll finally commit, but I just feel that there's hesitation there, and I don't know why, because I'm finally here. And I just feel so lost.
Yeah, especially if you just moved. Did you move specifically for him?
Yeah, even though he told me don't move for him because he's got some family stuff going on right now, it just happened to fall that the job could do me now. And I had a lineup on an affordable apartment, and everything else fell into place. It's just now we're trying to work on us, and there's family issues. So I just feel really homesick, and I'm trying to work on us without being pushy to him.
Yeah.
It's hard, and I just don't know. I'm hoping that everything works because I've been through a lot the last couple years.
Yeah, and the thing is too that you actually have a very hopeful attitude about you. You are looking forward. You're trying to create things. You're doing just what I'm telling people to do all the time. You're taking action, and you're creating what you want to create. Now you understand, I'm sure you do, that we can't control another person, and I'm also sure that you're well aware that his hesitation could be an issue for you. I do feel his hesitation, and you're doing the right thing by not being pushy. Okay, I do want to tell you that, because he is one who is a bit, I'm going to use the word scared because I'm talking about that kind of stuff tonight, apparently. He's a bit scared about making a commitment because he's just not sure where he's heading. And I don't think it even has all that much to do with you, but more to do with him. I don't think he knows what he really wants, and I don't think he knows where he wants to go. I think your moving there has put him in a little bit more of a scared state. And I'm not saying that to make you feel guilty or anything like that, but so that you recognize that he just has these fears. You've shown him that you're ready for a commitment, and that's who you are, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You're ready for a commitment, and he just doesn't know if he can handle it yet. So this is what I'm feeling with him. He's got some stuff he's got to work through. Okay, now with you, I know you want things, you want to know the ending, you want to figure it out, you want to make sure it's all good, and all of that. But we can't control that part of it. So I do want to ask you this question before I continue with my impressions of what is going to happen. Have you contemplated what you will do if the relationship doesn't work out?
I don't know, because we've been going through a lot of stuff for the last 3 years because of stuff with his family. And we've been going really good at the long distance thing, and up till his dad went in the hospital, it felt like everything was falling into place, and then his dad got sick, and now, like you said, he's not sure what he wants, and I'm nervous and I'm scared because I really need him right now.
Yes, and especially because you moved, and you know you're in a new situation. It's very hard to move someplace where you don't know that many people. It's, you know, even if it is where you used to be, that all those other people aren't there anymore. You know, so many people have moved on. I feel, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, you be patient. You be patient. You be there as you can be there. You support him as he goes through the family issues. He is in his own state right now, okay? For you to need him could be the one thing too much for him. Now, you know, this is a tricky situation because all of us have needs. You have needs, he has needs. And it's not always equitable. So, you know, right now you have a great need because you moved. You moved and you're hoping that this is going to work out. He has a great need because he's got a lot of crap going on in his life too. So this is a tricky balance that you guys have going right now. If you can be patient and if you cannot put too much on him, you can be very kind and generous, helpful, and not put too much there. That will help him feel better. He will also see you for who you truly are, which is what I'm going to actually talk to you about right this second, because you are a very supportive person and you are there for people all the time and you want to be there for people. You've got to take very good care of yourself during this time, your own self during this time, so that you stay as healthy as possible, so that you can stay in that mental state of good as well, okay? You want to make sure you do that because this is a tough time right now. And if you can do this, if you can stay patient, you're going to have a much better chance of this relationship working out, okay? I'm not going to tell you that it's going to work out because I can't see it. And I'm not saying that. That sounds wrong. Okay, don't take that the wrong way. I'm not, yeah, don't say, I'm just saying I can't see the end of it. Okay, that sounded really bad. And I'm like, that's not what I'm seeing. So I don't want you to freak on that. I'm not seeing the end. I can't see if you're together or apart. I can't see the end. Okay, I see you still together for some time now, okay? I still see it. I know you're working on it, and you guys are trying hard to make it work. So you just keep following that path. And what I do want to tell you, this is more of a coach than as a psychic medium. Trust that whatever happens, no matter what it is for the absolute best. You had so many things work out to get you there, to get you where you are physically right now. There's a reason for that. Okay, there's a reason, and I don't know what the reason is, and we may not know for a bit of time now, but there's a reason why it worked out. So allow that to be good, and allow that. You've got a job, you've got a place to live, you've got everything you need. We just have that one little aspect that's not quite where we want it yet. Okay, so just trust that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. When I'm looking down the line, and then I should let you go because I will just talk. When I look down the line with you, I do see you together for some time more. So just try to maintain that patience. And I think that you will be in a much better place in a few months. Okay. So just go with the flow right now. Go with the flow and let things happen as they happen. You'll be okay. Okay, I better let you go, Sean. I would suggest you might want to go to my website, because on my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com, I have a lot of these radio shows posted and the videos, and I think I have one called Go With The Flow, so you might try looking it up and watching it. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Sean, I'll send you lots of good luck.
Thank you. I need it.
Yeah, you do. I'll send it to you. Talk to you sometime. Bye. And that was Sean from Kentucky, and we are now going to move on to Hazel in England. Hazel, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. How can I help you today?
I don't know exactly. Guidance.
Okay. Are you looking for like psychic guidance, or do you have some kind of a problem you want to specifically talk about?
Relationship.
Okay. Relationships, man, they get in the way, don't they, sometimes? It seems like we have a lot of relationship issues, doesn't it? We are so brave to be in relationships. We really are. So you should congratulate yourself. I'm assuming you're in one right now and you have some questions about it then. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm getting the impression that you have quite a few questions, and you've been going round and round in your head. You have been really listing things. Are you actually sitting there weighing the pros and the cons?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to actually write them down. And I'm feeling the pros and the cons going back and forth in your head. As I'm talking to you, I do have a spirit that touches in, so I do want to acknowledge that right away. I have a man who comes in right now, and he actually feels very fatherly, grandfatherly to me, more fatherly than grandfatherly. We'll see. I am feeling a heart issue and a lung issue, something like that going on in the chest that goes in my back as well. He's telling me that you're a smart woman, and he's telling me also that you know what you're supposed to be doing. He said you wouldn't be questioning if there wasn't good reason. Is that true?
Yeah.
And he's telling me there is good reason for you to be questioning. He says you know what's up. You know the deal. You know everything that's going on. And he says it's holding you back. Now, were you listening to my show in the beginning when I was doing my coaching tip?
Yeah.
Okay. That might be something for you to try. And what you could do is you can play it both ways. You can go, I want to break up with him, but, and see what comes out. I don't want to break up with him, but, and see what comes out. You might find an awful lot of information in those statements. What's stopping you from making a decision? Either way, okay? Now with you, I am feeling quite a lot of stuff going on in my chest breathing area with you. And I'm not saying you have a physical issue. That usually gives me a sign that this is really heavily weighing on you. Has it really been bothering you quite a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's also the feeling of you having spoken and said what you need to say, but it's like it doesn't go through. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you must be so frustrated. Are you very frustrated?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, honey. Because I can feel this like in my chest. I just, I don't know if you're watching, but I'm like grabbing myself in my chest area because I'm just like, oh, I can feel this frustration. And, part of it too is you're a very loyal person and you're not one to give up. Okay, you're not one to give up. You do everything you can to make things work and to try to do the right thing. This man I'm talking to on the other side, the spirit, he's telling me that it's all about you taking care of you. What you need to move forward and live the life you want to live. He says he understands there are consequences that could be a pain to go through and all of that. But he's telling me that you can handle pretty much anything. He gives me a very high opinion of you, tells me you're on top of things, you're very intelligent, you know what to do, you can pretty much handle everything that comes your way. You must be something. He really likes you. So there's this feeling of competence that comes with you. So just make sure you do what's right for you. I really am getting the impression you know what you're supposed to be doing, don't you?
But I'm not doing it.
But you're not doing it. I know. We all do that. We really do. Because there's so many things that hold us back, that stop us from taking those steps. Because, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. There's so many things. Try my little technique. You might find that very helpful. Just be in a good place when you're doing it. Don't do it when you're in a really bad mood. Because you want to see what's underlying, what's stopping you. What fear is it that's stopping you? Is it the fear of being alone? Is it the fear of failure? It could be any number of things, that could step in and be stopping you. I know I've had so many clients, they just don't want to be alone and they don't want to look again, that kind of thing, so there could be something like that going on. Yeah, I know. This man's telling me how sad it would be for you. He says that you would just feel like you missed something somehow. Okay, I've got like 90 seconds, so I got to wrap up here. But he says it's okay. Because you can move through whatever life throws at you. You really can. You must be amazing. So you can do this. You really can. So you make the choice you need to make. And
Okay, then.
And you've got my support. You can do this. And you've got this man's support, too. So I want to thank you so much, Hazel, for calling. It was so nice talking to you. I will send you a lot of well wishes and good luck as well so that you can be strong. Okay?
Okay. Okay,
Be
then
strong.
thank
Okay, you are welcome. Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? We all have, everybody experiences these kinds of things, these problems, these life issues that get in our way, and we just don't know what to do, So try my technique. What is it you think you want to do? And then say but after and list everything that's stopping you, because it will show you your fears and what is stopping you. It really will. It's simple, it's easy, and it works. So this was Creating an Inspired Life. I'm Colleen Van Der Zijden. You can find me at my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Van Der Zijden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Goodbye.
Hello and welcome to Wren and Friends Psychic Talk Radio. I'm your hostess, psychic medium Mary Beth Wren. And yes, if you can hear that rumble, it's not an earthquake. It's actually a train. I live not far from the train tracks. You would think I'd have eggshell cartons on the wall. I know, sound effects, but what am I going to do? Welcome to live radio out of my back living room. Yes, I actually have comic books and stickers in my living room, but I digress. Anyhow, I want to say I missed you all. I was not on last week, but I'm back and trying to be better than ever. I want to give a quick shout out to some of my listeners. Whitney from Arkansas with her little boy. She's been so kind in updating me of what's going on. She has a little boy who's very psychic and picking up on all sorts of things, spirits, energies, and the little guy's learning how to discern the difference between whom to speak to and whom not to speak to. Similar to stranger danger, when you are not supposed to speak to strangers. I'm talking about living ones, and who is your friends as in parents. So, Whitney, if you're out there, quick shout out. Quick also shout out to Shelby, who is running inside the chat room at the Ask One Radio Network chat room on Facebook. And of course, a shout out to Connie and Dave, who keep this great radio station going, and for Dave to keep me smiling and going throughout the broadcast. Well, as I said, Wren and Friends, it's about you. I'm here to read your energy and to answer your questions. Before we get started into the show, I want to say a quick hello and thank you to Catawba College. That's in Salisbury, North Carolina. I did a lecture on the paranormal, believe it or not, 8:30 at night on a Monday night. And I think we went on to at least 11 o'clock at night. But we talked about everything from orbs, energies, colors of orbs, the communications of color. We even spoke about Ed and Lorraine Warren, one of the most internationally known, famous psychic paranormal investigators. Those two were the ones that covered the Amityville Horror in the 70s. Yeah, and show my age. I presented that to the class, and nobody knew what the Amityville Horror was. Oh, my God. I might as well have been, like, broadcasting in 8-track. It was scary. But they did know the movie Annabelle, scary Raggedy Ann movie, and, of course, The Conjuring, which, of course, was featured on Ed and Lorraine Warren's cases. So we spoke about Ed and Lorraine Warren, and a quick shout-out to Rosemary Ellen Guiley who I used to have dinner with in the 80s. And ironically, if you do follow anything with the occult, Rosemary and I used to have dinner at a diner in Hamilton Square, New Jersey, at the Golden Dawn Diner. How's that for a little clue off for the occult? Anyway, shout out to Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She's a fantastic author, and I recommend a lot of her books. And you can listen to her on other radio stations, of which I'm sure you know, but I'm not sure if I should say that or not. So, Dave, if I'm allowed to speak about other stations, I can't say anything, so get my idea. Read my mind, y'all. All righty. Let me take a deep breath. Let's go right into it. I have got Kelly from I'm gonna give it a go here. Oswego. Okay, Kelly from Michigan. Owasso. See, you made it look easy. I'm sitting over here trying to spell it phonetically. I'll make that into a 4-syllable sentence. Anyway, Kelly, what can I do for you today?
We're going through some big changes, and I want to know what you see.
Okay. First thing I hear is the word move. It's either you just moved or you're going to be moving, but I feel like this energy of expansion and move. Now.
Yes.
I'm just not sure if that means you're downsizing, or you're moving to a bigger house but still downsizing anyway to make room for more energy. Let's put it this way, to make more room for more stuff. Isn't that bigger? They always like downsize, and the next thing you know, you go shopping. But let's see here. I'm getting the impression that you and your husband, and if you're not married, shocking, I see a man in your life, and I feel like...
We are married.
Good deal. Do you have a business together?
No, we don't.
It's interesting. I'm seeing a business together between you and your husband to be operating from your home. Now, it might be a business online, but you can operate it from like a home office. I see additional income coming into the home. I keep feeling like it's internet. But if you said, well, it might be real estate, but for some reason I still want to say the internet. So not only does it mean you're moving, but I'm seeing more money coming your way through a business.
That would be wonderful.
All right, which one of you is the salesperson, like insurance sales or selling? Maybe it feels like it's financial product. Huh?
I'm a salesperson, and I was thinking about selling insurance, and I just haven't done it yet. We're actually moving because of my husband's job, and I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do up there?
Would you look at the video and see my head? I don't look like a truck driver, Bob and Doll here, okay? Hello? Yes? You see that? If you can see me, if you can't see me, then just hold the phone away from your ear. But if you can see me, yes, become an insurance agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm supposed to go to a class on the 23rd through the 25th, but I have not had any time whatsoever to study, and I just don't see how I'm going to pass it. I just haven't had the time to put into it because so much has been going on. So I don't know how it's all going to turn out.
Well, here's the good news. Insurance tests are always being run no matter what. Yeah, they're expensive. I get it. So postpone it, but don't not do it.
Okay.
So when I'm looking at your energy and when I'm answering your question, what I see is you're moving. You're going to take time to just settle down, unpack yourself from the boxes, and then I see you in the insurance industry. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be in the insurance.
I just wanted to ask you, what do you see with my husband? He's transferring within his own company, And how do you see all that falling into place?
Well, first of all, I feel like your husband's got to take good care of his health. I get the impression so very strongly of heart issues. Please, I'm not a doctor, so go prove me wrong. But when I pick up on stress tests, heart issues, high blood pressure, how's his last physical?
He went today and everything checked out fine.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Ironically, he said he's fit.
Well, that's good. Let's put it this way. Psychic's wrong. Yay, okay? I'd rather be wrong than that and right with your insurance. Okay. Okay, I'm still hearing the word health. I can't seem to shake that out, though.
Okay.
Hold on a moment. There feels like there's a lot of tension in his shoulders. So when I look at his aura field, I'm seeing a burnt reddish color aura in his, it's a burnt orange red aura in his neck area. And that could be the color that I see around people who have migraines, or people that have issues with tension, headaches. Maybe acupressure or acupuncture could be very good for him as well. Now, I'm not worried about him. No, in fact, the move's going to be fine. I just keep feeling like I must tell you over and over and over again, do not let go of that insurance opportunity. You're very good with people. In fact, I feel like you're going to take your time when it comes to selling an insurance product. You're not out there for the big bucks. You will get the money for the big bucks. But you sell with heart. You don't sell with wallet. You know what I'm saying?
I sure do.
Okay, because you're going to be building a base of customers that love you because you love them, not because what's it in it for you for your bottom line. Okay? So you may not get a lot of sales right away, but don't you dare give up. Because you're going to be establishing a foundation. Now, maybe it's because you're in Michigan and I'm feeling like I'm supposed to say moose, like M-O-O-S-E, moose. But are you that far out in Michigan that could be moose country?
We are moving up north. I don't know if there's any mooses there, but we are moving up north. But I haven't seen any moose where we're going.
Okay, this may sound very unusual for me to say, but I feel like the moose is going to be a big part of your practice in the future. And let's take it out. Let's not look at it as a real moose, but it could be Moose Lodge, as in a fraternal order of police, a Shriners Club, as if you're getting into, you see. So I'm feeling getting involved with the fraternities. That's why I said, well, I'm saying moose. Well, it's what's the plural of moose? Mises? I'm just kidding. I won't quit my day job, Dave. But just remember that. Also, keep an eye or awareness. Dave says the plural of moose is moose. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our word for the day. As I said, I feel like we're in the future with your insurance business. Look for logos or patches with moose antlers. Maybe it's a Boy Scout troop. I'm kind of reaching there. But just keep that in mind, because I'm feeling you could be in the million sales, real high up. So stop shortchanging yourself, okay?
Okay. I am definitely a people person, and I love fundraising. So I don't foresee that being a problem. And it's exactly how you worded it. That is truly me from my heart. I'm not out to, do something wrong for someone. I care about people more than the money. So you're exactly right about that.
Another thing I want to mention to you, I do not see you being a captive agent. Do you understand what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, yes.
Okay, I'm going to explain that to the audience. Right on. To those people listening, I just told her that she's not going to be designated to just one company, like if she were Allstate or Aflac. She's going to be independent, so she could be Mutual of Omaha, or she could be, I can't think of something else right now, Liberty. something else.
Yes.
Right on. So you're going to be having a variety of choice.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Fabulous. And can I ask you just one other question? What do you see about the health of family members around us? Is anything presenting itself?
Are you moving to a house that's owned by the family?
No, we're not. We don't even know where we're moving yet. To tell you the truth, we don't have a house picked out yet. This just came about, so.
Well, if it says Moose Street, Moose County, Moose something. I'm not seeing anything else. I'm really not seeing anything else, but you know what? You can always just give me a holler at my website or call me back next week, and so we'll continue on. But I hope I was able to give you the clarity you needed, and I really did like talking to you. And
well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Whatever you do, don't let go of that insurance. That is part of your soul's calling.
Okay.
Your
all right, well,
insurance.
Thank you very much. It was a blessing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Have a wonderful night.
Okay.
I'm Psychic Medium Mary Beth Wren. You're listening to Wren and Friends Psychic Talk Radio on the Ask One Radio Network. You can call in at 1-888-454-2751. And I want to also say something to the listening audience and to the viewing audience. You might notice my energy is a little low. I just got diagnosed with fibromyalgia last week. That hit me like a ton of bricks. When my doctor told me that I have fibro, I literally thought fibromyalgia was the crazy cat lady's hypochondriac disease. Boy, am I wrong. So that's why you might notice me kind of like this sometimes, or there are just going to be times where I'm like, hi, my life. If there's anybody out there in the listening audience that has this condition, or if knows of someone or something, Facebook me. I kind of need to know. This is all sort of new to me. So that's why I'm noticing my energy sort of like fluctuating right now. But I'll just keep on going. Apparently it's not affecting my psychic ability too much because, well, to be able to nail this woman's job like that, okay, I'm not worried about my psychic ability. But it does feel like I got run over by a Mack truck sometimes. But thanks to Shelby and her milkshake. Okay. Anyway, I'm just your regular laid-back kind of person who just has an oversensitive psychic ability. All righty. Dave, who's our next person to our wonderful Wren and Friends Psychic Talk Radio? It looks like we have a Darcy from Council, Idaho. Darcy, how are the potatoes?
They're just fine.
Buds are your, let's see, spuds are your buds, right?
Something like that. But, you know, J.R. Simplot made his billions, so, you know.
What can I do for you this evening?
I was just curious. Actually, you were just talking about fibromyalgia, and I thought I would tell you that Leo Bonomo, he's an international medium and psychic. He has fibromyalgia, so you may actually want to contact him and ask him about it.
Okay, I will. I just found out Lady Gaga has it too, and I'm like, are you kidding me? How do
a lot of people do? Yeah.
You know, Lady Gaga said something in an interview recently, which I found fascinating, because this is how I operate. When I'm having a low day, it's when I tune into the energy field and I start doing psychic readings for everyone else, I feel fantastic. Or if I'm communicating to the other side and I'm speaking to your loved ones on the other side, it's awesome. So while I'm, so to speak, taking off from the runway and flying up into the higher levels, awesome, great. But coming in for a landing, ugh. So I feel fantastic when I'm into everybody else's energy fields, but I get into mine, I'm like, whoa, hello, how you doing? So I'm just thinking. So I can relate to what Lady Gaga says when she actually resonates the vibration of her audience. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
You got to bottle that up.
No kidding. You'd be rich. All right, Miss Darcy. So, what? Something just fell off the back of my... Oh, well, that was just the mail. Oh, well, never mind. Good news is good news.
I'd like to know if you see anything about my love life, which is pretty much non-existent, and or anything else you happened upon it, really.
All right, Darcy. Well, first thing, stop speaking your negative energy into the future, meaning just ask, how is my love life, period. Because if you sit there and say, how is my love life, that lacks, I'm like, why are you speaking that into your present moment? No. No, if you want to know when you get laid and when you get paid, I'll tell you. But don't tell me. All right, Miss Darcy, hold on a second. Let me just get into the energy field. Immediately struck with the feeling of the word Robert. R, I get an R name. Bob, well, Bob's not Robert, but Bob is Robert. So still hearing R. I see a man whose Aries zodiac is Aries or fire sign.
Okay, my ex-boyfriend was a Robert.
Is he an Aries?
He's an Aquarius.
Oh, it's another A. I was going to say fire sign. All righty. Well, practice makes perfect. You got 8 billion Roberts on the planet. Well, at least.
Yeah.
Okay, who's counting? All righty. Now, wait a minute. Why am I picking up on your past if you're asking about your future? Looks like to me we got some unfinished business with this Robert in your past. What part of
Are you serious?
Yeah, has he been calling you?
No.
Have you? I hope you're not thinking about him.
I do sometimes, but not seriously, really.
All right. Subconscious lesson 101, Darcy. When you say to yourself, don't think blue, your mind has to go to blue, not to think blue. So subconscious 101, don't think X, because we psychics will pick up X as future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's the only Robert I could think of, so, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's just move him out. Well, at least I'll try to. Okay. In the summertime, I see you connected to cars. Now, I know this sounds strange, but I want to say Volkswagens to you. Maybe you'll go to a Grateful Dead concert. Fish, woohoo. But from what I'm gathering, I promise it's only milkshakes. I was just milkshakes, not the conja. But from what
you got green powder in there.
Hey, why not? I'm feeling a happy-go-lucky feeling with a guy. I just feel casual. I sense that this is going to be a fun relationship, and he feels like he's like a corporate retired hippie. Okay, so what I'm seeing is he's done the corporate stuff, but he's thrown out the suit. He's now gone into sort of laid-back, maybe a type A personality that went to type Q. I just feel like a laid-back vibe. Okay.
Well, I thought Jimmy Buffett was married.
Well, as long as he's not married, good. Now, for some reason, I am feeling I keep saying the word Grateful Dead. So I wonder if it means that he may have had a near-death experience, and he's grateful to be alive. Or it could be that he's from Colorado and he maybe is a business person when it comes to the Mary Jane, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling just a fun, loving relationship for you. And it seems like you are the one keeping it casual. Now, it appears to me that it's in the summertime, but I keep hearing the word July.
Okay.
Is your birthday in July?
No, it's in April.
All right, then maybe he's a Leo. Maybe he's late July, early August. You and your fire signs, because I've seen Aries before. But the thing is, what I keep feeling like, Darcy, is I want to say it's casual, it's fun, It's no stress. For once in your life, you're just being you, and you don't care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel like you're having a happy, healthier, loving relationship than the baggage you've had in the past, i.e. Robert the Aquarius.
Yeah.
It's like you deserve it. So this is my psychic prediction for you, that it's in the summertime. And I keep feeling like I'm supposed to say this Grateful Dead thing. Is there some sort of festival that you go to in the late spring, early summer up in Idaho?
I went to Country Fan Fest last year in Utah, and it's the end of June or July. I went with Robert, but I was planning on going with myself this year, but yeah.
Okay, go. Definitely go. I'm kind of getting the feeling of more of a Burning Man feeling than a country guy, but a country man. But what I'm trying to get at is go to the festival. Go because you want to go to. Go because it makes your heart sing, and because you smile from your heart. And when you smile from your heart, you will attract a plethora of awesome people, male and female, good friends, and a good lover. And it's about darn time because you deserve it.
True.
And that, my friend, is what I get with you. Let's see what Dave just wrote to me. He says, Touch of Grey song from Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia. Hey, Dave, you spelled famous wrong. F-A-M-U-S. That's famous. That's a southern thing. That's the way we rednecks spell it. Speaking of rednecks, hey, I'll give a shout out to my buddy out in the UK, Adam. My Far Cry 5. Yes, I play Xbox. Far Cry 5. Talk about a real redneck game that is. Woo! But Darcy, I'm liking the vibe from you a lot. And this year, 2018, is the year for you to be alive and for you to think younger.
Yes. I've been exploring a lot of different things, yes.
You sure
Actually, I want to study to be a medium.
Woo! Yeah, girl, go for it. Yes, I'd say so. I'm going to look up your buddy that you're talking about. Poor guy has fibro. My heart goes out to him and everybody else out there. But Darcy, thanks for listening and calling in the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I look forward to hearing from you again in the future.
Okay.
Well, before I end tonight, just want to give a quick shout out again to Shelby, who's in the chat room right now. If you want to find out about events that I do, just go to my website, www.marybethwren.com. And, of course, you can always listen to me on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, everyone, reality is what you make it. So make sure you make it the very best. I'll see you next week. Thank you very much for listening to Ren and Friends Psychic Talk Radio.
Hi, I'm Mark. Thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R On the Air Psychic Talk Radio Now on Moonstruck TV. Enlightening television.
Hello everyone, here we are back again for another week. I'm Michelle Conway, it's Psychic Angel Guidance, and this is A1R Psychic Radio. And of course, as you know, the best radio network in the universe at this time. Okay, well, today I thought, oh wow, and I was running around. I've got so much going on these days. Last minute, I sat down and thought, what am I going to talk about? You know, I thought, let's talk about the aura this week, because it's through our aura that we sense our world, that we sense everything that's going on around us. We tend to be stuck when we think of ourselves as being just this physical body. That's where we are. That's where our consciousness is. But it isn't. Our aura is actually where our consciousness sits, because if you think of our brain, everybody's brain is just matter. It's all exactly the same anatomy. It's within our aura that our personality, our minds, our emotions, all of those things that we think sit. It's in our aura that we hold our thought forms. It's from our aura that our thought forms get sent out to other people. They pick up on them. So our aura is a very dynamic, very complex part of our existence that we often overlook. We often forget what is going on a bigger picture of our physical self, and our spiritual self, okay? So I'm sure all of you have gone out at different times and you've felt overwhelmed in shopping centres, or you've felt really uneasy around certain people, or you just walk into a room and you just know, hey, look, there's something not right here. What's happening at those times is you're experiencing the interconnectedness of yourself through your auric field with another person, with another energy. Especially when you might find, okay, you're sitting somewhere and all of a sudden you turn and you look at somebody and you think, hey, they were just watching me. You're actually picking up the interconnectedness of the auric field, of the energetic flow, of the frequency that we are all part of. We're all connected in this flow. It's part of who we are. And when we leave our physical body, the spirit, our soul, if you like, it retains that aura, but we don't see it the same as what we can see it as the life force around our physical body. So this is why in a lot of pictures you see the golden halo that's around the head of the people in biblical stories and all those sorts of situations, because it is easier to see the aura around the head of someone than it is anywhere else in the body, okay? Now, you can think, okay, we know about physics and science and all that sort of thing, but if you think about aura in a very similar manner to the universe, it is a lot of different protons and electrons all moving around, all different, giving a different frequency. And these different frequencies create different colours. And this is where your aura and your mood and all that mental and emotional body and all those things all come from. They're all interconnected. It all works. And these electrons or protons, which I'm going to call them for a want of a better word, give you your frequency, give you where you fit into on the earth plane and recognised by the universe, okay? And this is what draws like-minded people to you. This is what brings attraction. This is what repels some people too, because your frequency draws and it attracts and repels what is conduent with it, what it is allowed to accept for you in your highest good. Because we are all on a journey, okay? And it also allows you to sense when you need to be safe or when you're not going to, when you feel insecure, anxious, and just need change. So you feel all these things in your aura first before it manifests into your physical self, and before you it manifests into your physical world. So for me, as a psychic, when people come to me for readings, I often see the different energies that will be coming down into people's auric fields, that will be showing me the change on an energetic, on a colour level, on a frequency level that is resonating with different, say, scales or musical notes or change that's coming in for these people, okay? And then it'll come down through the auras, through the chakras and manifest in the body. Now, this is the same way that illnesses can manifest into your body as well. If there's an imbalance or if there's a darkness or there's some negativity that you're hanging on to within your auric field, okay? Your auric anatomy is what is probably a better way to describe it, because it is part of your anatomy. It's an extension of yourself. It's the spiritual anatomy of yourself, okay? So it's very important that you do look after this part of your anatomy, that you do cleanse it, that you do nurture this part of your anatomy and become aware when you need time out and time away from people, okay? So to replenish, to recharge this auric field. Now, it's important, too, to be aware that medications and addictions and substances and all those sorts of things put holes in your auric field. And this allows you to be a bit more vulnerable to what is going on around you in the bigger picture of the universe, to all sorts of different energies, thought forms, bacteria, viruses, those sorts of things get in through that weakness that you create with your lifestyle, okay? So cleansing your aura, strengthening your aura, being aware that any overindulgence can create a breakdown in your protection that is naturally there within the shell of your auric field, if you like, okay? Now, there are different layers of your aura, and they start off they go with the colours of the chakras, which I find very interesting, that it's the colours of the chakras, the musical notes, the days of the week. Oh, my gosh, this is something that I see an interconnectedness between the whole of it all. So the first layer in your auric field is your etheric layer. That's the one that's closest to your body, and that resonates with your base chakra, okay? So then the second one is your emotional body, and that resonates with your sacral chakra, okay? So that's where you're carrying all your emotions. Your mental body is next. Then you've got your astral body, then your etheric template, okay? And then after your etheric template, you've got your celestial layer, and then the last one is your ketheric layer. And I find that interesting, that your outermost part of your auric anatomy is called the ketheric layer. When you look at the Kabbalah, the very top Sephiroth is called Kether. So it brings together a whole different spiritual understanding and ability for growth by recognising that, okay? So there's lots of different parts that in all of those parts that you store at different points. So you can store different emotions in different parts of that body, just like you store different thought forms and different feelings and different memories. All of this is all retained within your auric field, all right? And it is very involved. It is very complex. There is a lot that I could go in and talk about, but I don't want to get too caught up in it. I just wanted to just have a brief little chat about it. But most of all, be aware when you're with somebody who's good for you to be around. You'll feel refreshed, you'll feel recharged, you both will, you'll both be on the same frequency. It'll be an even energy flow of exchange that's working, and it's helping all those protons and electrons and the energy and the love and the coming backward and forward of information. It's helping you in an abundant, positive way. That's not to say that negative isn't good. You do need to have that as well, because that's where you draw your experiences of the biggest learning from, and you put them into the positive aspect of your life then, okay? So it's important that you have balance. There's good in everything. It just depends on how you take out of that your experience, and then you store it in that big memory field of your auric field, if you like. And that's where Carl Jung, I love him, and he's some of the things that he discusses. He also believed that your consciousness was in your auric field and not just sitting in your brain. Okay, so I see I've got Laurie there in Bethlehem. Are you in Pennsylvania? Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm really well. How's your day?
It's cold here. I don't want to be here.
Oh, well, over over here, it's meant to be autumn. We're meant to be cooling down, but it's still quite warm. So you send us some of the cold and we'll send you some of this warm. How's that sound? We'll do an energy exchange.
There you go. There you go. I'll make sure it's snow and not rain, though. How's that?
Oh, I would love it to snow. It doesn't snow here where I am. I'm in Ballarat. And sometimes it snows here, but not very often. Not enough to have to worry about. It's always very pretty when it snows here.
Oh, I can imagine. It just snows probably like an inch and then it goes away.
Yeah, that's what it's like. If we're lucky, it happens every 5 years or something here. So, yeah. So, have you phoned in with, I love your energy. You're so happy. I'm feeling really good talking to you automatically. I feel a strong connection there. Have you phoned in with a particular question this evening?
Well, I'm all over the place. Can you tell? My energy is just, it's been through the roof for a few days. Basically, I'm kind of just curious as to what will be happening in general for me for the next couple of months. Got a little situation going on, so I'm trying to figure it out. But you always want that little push in the right direction kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the first thing that I'm picking up as you were saying all of that is right at the moment you're at a standstill, okay? And you're finding this difficult to be in that standstill position, if you like, all right? Because you're a person who likes action. You like to get things moving all the time. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So with that, what I'm getting here is it's time for you to just have, I'm looking on a family level for you. There is change coming in around on the home front there, okay? And this is to do with family ties and family connections. This is going to fill up the next few weeks of your life, okay? And I do feel that that's taking you into another direction on a family front. It's very exciting. I feel like there's newness, there's freshness going to come in and about. There's a replenishing that's coming in for you. But I'm also being told it's almost like you're waiting for an iceberg to melt, if you like, all right? So this ice in the next few weeks, I'm seeing it as defrosting, thawing and melting away. And I'm seeing that as being symbolic of once that starts to flow, the water's starting to flow. It's starting to move again for you. And with that movement, I feel like you're going to start to be able to see the new direction for yourself. Now, with this situation that you've got happening around you, I'm seeing a lot of different people involved with that. And I do feel like it's going to be important for you to stand your ground, believe in yourself, okay? But I'm getting the word compromise coming to mind, okay? So the compromise and negotiation, because I'm seeing like a foundation that is affecting, it's got a ripple effect. I'm getting a ripple effect as I'm seeing this moving out into your family life and your work front as well, okay? So, oh gosh, you've asked me for a general guidance for the next few months. So, replenishing yourself is going to be really important in this time, okay? So, I even feel like I'm slowing down now as I'm looking at that for you, okay? So, looking after yourself, time out. Time for yourself to look at what it is that you're getting from where you are right now, okay? Because it's very challenging for you. I'm feeling quite emotional now. So you're experiencing lots of emotion, and you are right with when you said to me at the start you're all over the place. I'm feeling all over the place too with myself emotionally for you, okay? Because I've started off the reading and it was very high, and now I've come down to a state of almost feeling like I need to cry. I need to let go, okay?
Oh, my God. I'm almost in tears here.
Okay. So
exactly how I feel. There's a gentleman that's coming in and out of my life, so I'm kind of wondering, he's trying to step back in and where that's going to go, if I should just walk away, or that I think is my biggest pull. Almost everything going on in my life I can handle. But when it comes to the emotional stuff, it's like draining. It's draining.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where you need to look after yourself. And that's where I'm picking up where I started this off for you, that it was affecting your family. It's rippling out. So this is affecting them watching you feel this way as well. Okay? So it's funny because I did draw a card for you, and I will show you the card that I've drawn, and it's the Lover's card. Okay? And you're asking about this man. And I do feel, be careful is first of all what I get, because there's a reason that